Well, one thing different from the last time we did the Facebook Live is you're starting to see, if you can really get in there, Dennis, it's hard, the eye is starting to show. We had the eye before, we knew it because the hurricane hunters were in there and they knew there was an eye because they were flying into it, but this is one of the first times we've been able to see it on the NOAA satellites, doing a great job being able to help us with the structure. So that's one thing that we're seeing that's going on. But the other part of this is interesting as well. Whenever you see some of these clouds, some of these high-level and mid-level clouds, kind of coming out of the storm. You notice that? They're leaving the storm. And what that does for us is it tells us the structure is getting stronger. You have two places where the air is coming out. So you have the warm water, all that ocean air goes up through the center of the storm, and then it comes out the top. And when you have two areas pulling that warm air and that energy out, that really means that we have some strengthening going on. So we got a very healthy storm here. So definitely wanted to spend some time looking at the satellite. So let's take a look at the forecast. Like I said, 110 miles an hour currently. So let's look at the size. So, you know, we're looking at winds about 90 miles, and we're measuring it at the greatest point from the center out is about 90 miles. So it's not that much all the way around it, but at the same time, we have to remember it's not just the center. It's well outside the cone. You have a lot of these impacts. Around the center, you have the hurricane force winds, and we'll watch for that. We'll watch how if it expands with time as this storm becomes stronger. So let's look at the movement. The closer these dots are together, these are actually where we're forecasting the center to be. That's 8 a.m. Saturday, that's 8 p.m. Saturday, so you kind of look at the movement there, but what I really want to point out is once we get to the Bahamas, where we have the hurricane watch, there's not a lot of movement here. These are 24-hour points. You look at 8 a.m. Monday, 8 a.m. Tuesday, 8 a.m. Wednesday. So a lot of times, I've seen it so many times over the last couple decades, when they want to make that turn, there's a little slowing that goes on. They do that all the time, very typical of these hurricanes. And what does that mean? We always talk about this, Dennis, don't we? Slow is never our friend, because the slower you go, that means more rain. That means more time that you're going to have those winds. That's a long period of time to have hurricane force winds and tropical storm force winds, and you saturate the soil, and all of a sudden we have trees down, more power lines down. So very serious situation. We got to take this one very serious. Let's look at the timing. Again, it's one of the biggest questions that we get, and an important question, because this is when we have to really wrap up our planning. So if you really look at this, we're looking at a situation that the arrival time, let's highlight the Florida coast to make sure it's pretty clear there. So that's the Florida coast. This is 8 p.m. on Sunday, Monday 8 a.m., Monday 8 p.m. This is the arrival of tropical storm force winds. So we're starting to maybe see some impacts late Sunday, but overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning, we'll see those tropical storm force winds move from the coast inland, and then by Monday, even into Tuesday, we're still seeing some tropical storm force winds. So that's important, because that's when we really need to wrap things up when it comes to our preparedness. Tropical storm force winds, it's dangerous to drive. It's dangerous to hold some plywood. It's dangerous to be on a ladder or your roof. It's just a dangerous time. So we need to have things wrapped up, and we actually have a graphic that helps demonstrate that, and it's really a be ready by. So if we're going to have impacts, looking at late Sunday, we need to wrap things up on Sunday. So you have today, you have Saturday, and you have a good portion of Sunday to wrap things up, but you're starting to see the impacts late on Sunday. So really, you have some more time, so no need to panic, but it is time to really take this serious and really wrap things up when it comes to your preparedness. So slow movement, let's talk about some of those impacts. One of the things we get with the slow movement is a lot of rain. So here's the latest forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. They're up at College Park. They're a big part of our team, a great group, and they're really looking at some of the values. If we slow the storm down, they update the graphic to be able to put in more rainfall. So right now, these areas, we're looking at 6 to 10 inches in some of these areas, but look at the maximums. All kind of depends on the track. 10 to 15 inches, maybe some isolated amounts even higher than that. So a lot of rainfall. If you have a slow-moving storm, there's more time to put in that rainfall. I will say, I ran back to the other end of the building. The Storm Surge group is they're just an amazing group putting together the models. Once we have a watch out, then they'll run the models, and we'll have more detailed information on the storm surge. So that's going to be coming up. So Dennis, we got a little tour, I guess. We're going to go back and talk to Warren. I do want to say we're doing interviews in Spanish. If you can see this, we got the Spanish pool. Maria, we saw it and heard from Maria over the last couple of days, doing an amazing job keeping everybody informed, and then the people that are speaking Spanish. We just want everybody to have the information. It's so important. So thank you for Maria for all that. So that's just a little behind the scenes of what's going on with this. But Dennis, I did want to go back here to talk about the hurricane hunters and see if Warren is available. It looks like he is, but Dave can talk about it too.
It would be.
So he's on the phone coordinating, so I'm going to be a little quiet here. But he's coordinating the flights. So the hurricane hunters, we have the P-3 aircraft with NOAA. We also have the C-130 aircraft with the Air Force hurricane hunters, doing an amazing job with these flights, getting into the middle of the storm, really giving us the information that we need. So there we're going to get out of here because they're coordinating these flights. We want to make sure that they have the information that they have so we can get it as well. So let's go back into operations real quick and wrap things up with Lixion again. We talked to him before. Any observations?
No.
Last couple minutes?
The plane is still there, and we've been getting the same winds. But you can see on satellite that the eye is becoming better defined, and that's a sign that the system is getting better organized.
There it is. Just like we're all saying, it's getting better organized. You know, the fact is we got to take this one seriously. We got pretty good confidence we're going to keep on strengthening. We don't have shear. We got plenty of warm ocean, and we're seeing a better structure, so the times to get ready. We still have some time today, tomorrow, and Sunday to get ready for the storm, but I really urge everybody, you have to take this very serious. You know, we are forecasting landfall of Category 4, and that 140 miles an hour is a lot of wind, but it's not just that. It's the storm surge, it's the rain, and we got to think about this too. The right front quadrant, 90% of your tornadoes are right in there, most of those in those rain bands. So let's take this serious. We're going to be watching it here 24 hours a day. Dennis, thanks for everything you do putting these together, and we're going to keep